Joe Rogan's ridiculous success is down to just one thing, and it's not luck, genetics, his network, or even simple hard work. And it's something you can actually steal from him. He's built this psychological toolkit that's practically guaranteed his success. And today I'm going to show you what's in his mind so you can start building it for yourself too. These tools are highly learnable skills that I've taught to over 1,000 high performers, from special forces operators to elite athletes, some of the most successful businessmen on the planet. When you learn these tools and how they work and how to train them, you can master those skills too. Success leaves clues, and Rogan has left this psychological breadcrumb trail for you to follow. After all, it's almost impossible to become world-class at anything. Yet Rogan has done it in podcasting, comedy, martial arts, commentary, and a whole heaps beside, which is why he's estimated to be worth over $200 million today. But most importantly, he seems to have done it without sacrificing his mental health. He seems free, physically, financially, emotionally, and spiritually. He seems mentally fit. And that's not luck, that's skill. So here's how he did it. The first psychological tool he uses is the most proven and reliable strategy to become world-class at anything. In the 1970s, a Swedish psychologist called Carl Anders Ericsson became obsessed with this question. How do some people dominate their fields, yet others plateau, despite having all the same opportunities? 20 years later, Ericsson and his colleagues studied elite violinists at the Berlin Academy of Music. He found that the elite violinists had accumulated at least 10,000 hours of deliberate practice, whereas those who are merely good had put in roughly half the hours. But this isn't about the 10,000 hour rule. This wasn't merely practice, but deliberate practice. And there's the huge difference between them. In 1993, Ericsson published a paper called The Role of Deliberate Practice in the Acquisition of Expert Performance. Him and his colleagues identified 6 components of deliberate practice that must be followed. It's an activity designed specifically to improve performance. Often it's done with a teacher's help. It can be repeated a lot. Feedback on results is continuously available, and it's highly mentally demanding, whether the activity is purely intellectual, such as chess or business-related activities, or heavily physical, like sports. And finally, it isn't much fun. If you listen to Rogan talk about anything, he became world-class again, from comedy to Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You'll hear him ruthlessly adhering to the principles of deliberate practice.
Through time and effort, you build a stronger human. You build a stronger body, you build a stronger mind, you build accomplishments and will and momentum.
Choose what you need to become world-class in and start deliberate practice. How come so many of us have practiced incredibly hard at something though, and still haven't created the level of freedom and success and wealth that Rogan has? It's because they're breaking this golden rule. You have a completely unique set of interests, perspectives, and beliefs that make you, you. This means you simply cannot be world-class at anything. You can become world-class in something. And the best thing is, it's what you're naturally most interested in. The more you resist that and try to be successful in something that actually doesn't align with your own personal authenticity, the less your efforts will be rewarded. On the other hand, when you align yourself with who you really are, you find an effortless effort where work feels like play. One of Joe Rogan's guests, Naval Ravikant, says it best.
Find what feels like play to you, but looks like work to others.
There's no one else that could ever be Joe Rogan. He is completely authentic. Many people have tried to rip him off, to imitate him, and completely failed. And that's the second of his psychological tools that have made him so successful. Radical authenticity. There's an equation in performance psychology that explains so much of why you struggle to be as successful as you'd like to be. Performance equals ability minus interference. You can have all the ability in the world. If you have the handbrake of interference applied, you won't perform at the level you're capable of. Rogan has eliminated so much interference by becoming aware of the different parts of his personality. In an approach to personal development called internal family systems, you meet the different parts of yourself and learn to bring them onto your side instead of having them fight against each other. It's completely normal to have different parts of you. We always say part of me wants to do this and part of me wants to do that. You have to get them working for you, not against you. Rogan regularly talks about the general of his mind and his inner bitch.
There's my little inner bitch that's trying to talk me out of it. My little inner bitch has a little whispery voice, though. The general is what I call the one part of my brain that I try to keep the most dominant, where I tell myself, shut the fuck up.
He knows his inner landscape intimately. It's this that allows him to call the shots, not those parts of him that want comfort or safety or ease. They are their own sub-personalities, have their own fears and dreams and insecurities, strengths and weaknesses. If you're experiencing inner conflict, it's because these parts need attention from you. Have you got a part of you that's protecting you from feeling something deeper? Have you got a part of you you've locked up and are trying to hide? And what about a part of you who turns up when things get too painful or uncomfortable? The third rule is to know your inner parts intimately. There are 4 masculine archetypes that Rogan fully embodies. Most men are massively underdeveloped in their masculine archetypes. They fail to develop into them and fall into their weak shadow forms. Rogan has not done this. In fact, you could probably make the argument that his success is down to how much he has embodied masculinity. So what are those 4 masculine archetypes? The king, who brings order and authority to those he leads. He's the antidote to weak leadership. The warrior, who channels aggression and courage to protect others and achieve their goals. You need this so you can push yourself and discipline yourself. The magician, who uses insight, knowledge, and intuition to solve problems and reveal truths. This part of you is responsible for generating wealth and overcoming difficult problems. And the lover, who connects deeply to passion and emotion and beauty and relationships, and it brings vitality and empathy. When you learn to develop these archetypes, you're going to find new realms of performance. Finally, Rogan has elite mental fitness. His sensitivity isn't something he hides or over-exaggerates. It's just something that is.
I was interviewing her in the cage after winning a fight, and she's like, we got to be nicer to each other. That was her message.
It's as real and undeniable as his thoughts or young Jamie Googling things. His emotions are just part of reality, and he gives himself permission to feel them and feel them deeply and feel them fully. When you fail to accept your emotions, they ultimately become your masters. When you reject the fear that's under the surface, you're just inviting more fear into your life. When you don't give time to your anger, it controls you and burns you up. When you don't give yourself permission to really feel sadness, it takes a seat in your heart. Your emotions are an extra dimension of reality, offering a higher resolution image of life. And when you reject them, you reject a portion of the data you need to succeed. It's only by fully accepting your emotions that you can generate the success you seek. These are all core elements of elite mental fitness, which is the foundation of rising to meet the challenge in your life. The first step in training your mental fitness is assessing where it is now. To do that, take my free mental fitness assessment. The link is in the comments. Your next level starts here. Start training your mental fitness today.